This was after they passed the gay marriage law. Okay, now watch this. Well, I'll play this first.
The church can be so hypocritical. He said, in the African American church, you really got to be careful. I said, what do you mean? He said, because you are guilty of condemning the Supreme Court system and preaching against something. But if you look at half of our choirs, and a great number of our artists that we call abominations and we call demons, we demonize and dehumanize the same people that we use, and we don't say nothing about the gay choir director because he's good for business. As long as the choir sound good, I ain't saying nothing about his sexuality. We have done what the slave master did to us, dehumanize us, degrade us, demonize us, but then use them by our advantage. It's hypocritical to talk about the Supreme Court and calling them Sodom and Gomorrah, which is not what it's all about. But if that's the case, half our churches have been Sodom and Gomorrah for 100 years.
You tell him.
He told me, boy, you got to re-examine yourself. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, on one hand, you quote homosexuality is an abomination from Leviticus. But you say that right after you ate some shrimp, some catfish, and some lobster.
So you see what he's doing.
You quote Leviticus while you're wearing a wool blend suit. It's also in Leviticus that you shouldn't wear mixed linens. It's in Leviticus that if your wife is on her cycle, that you shouldn't go in the same house with her or even sleep on the same bed with her. That's in Leviticus too. Here's my point. We pick and choose the scriptures that we want to use to beat folk up with, rather than look at our own lives. Let me tell you something. If God wanted to judge America, he wouldn't need the Supreme Court system. If he wanted to judge America because of sin, he would judge me in '88 at the Freaknik in Atlanta. Y'all ain't saying nothing to me. Look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, I don't condemn you, I don't judge you, I'm going to preach Christ to you. Because you can't evangelize and antagonize at the same time. You cannot insult and inspire the same people that you insult. I thank God that Jesus went to Samaria with a woman who had some sexual identity problems and didn't preach condemnation. He just preached Christ. And our greatest missionary opportunity is going to be finding those who may be struggling to say, I'm not better than you, but the same grace that saved me, the same blood that let me come, is the same blood that you're going to need.
So now we see what he's done, right? He won't speak out against it, okay? And he's trying to make something wrong with them, you know. Now,
But Rashid, can you go on? Like I really wasn't getting. I was a little bit understanding, but I wasn't.
basically, all he was doing was trying not to speak against.
She on both sides.
Yeah.
Right. We're straddling the fence.
He was straddling the
Straddling
fence.
the fence.
He's
Yeah.
straddling the fence. But why? Why does he want to come out and talk about, you know, an activity that, you know, God has disapproved of?
Well,
Let me show you.
you know, he got to get his, you know, 501c3.
Ah.
You know, they got to keep the, you know, it's all about money.
Yes.
Yeah. He can't talk. He can't talk about that.
But here we go. Now, y'all powerful audience.
I need to compliment. I was thinking that, but I was like, all right, let me make sure. I want to be sitting here like I was doing nothing.
Uh-huh.
He's under control.
Control.
Yeah, he's being controlled.
Straddling the fence like he did.
Now watch this.
Have you ever wondered why most churches are tax exempt? It's not because the government thinks that there's some nice folks and deserve a tax break because they do good charity work. No, it's really hush money. That's why most Christian churches and other religions are considered 501c3 tax exempt organizations. But what most of the churchgoers don't know is that that comes with a lot of restrictions. Yes, you see, the government controls what the church can and cannot say. Oh, you've never been told this by your pastor. Well, of course not. They've been muzzled and they've taken bribe money from the government. You see, Jesus himself said you should pay taxes. You render to Caesar what is Caesar's. You see, but what happens with these 501c3 tax exempt churches is there literally are a variety of restrictions on things that they cannot say and cannot do in order to get that tax benefit. Oh, that seems a lot like accepting bribe money. It's really the churches accepting hush money is what it is. The churches can't do certain political organizing. There's certain things that the pastor just simply cannot say. Cannot say. And they'll never tell you this because they want you to believe that you're getting the whole truth. Oh, really? Then why are you accepting bribe money from the government that is controlled by an Illuminati mafia, the same satanic system that is forging this New World Order and paving the path for the Antichrist? You know? I mean, if a Christian church had any respect at all, they would...
See, the thing is, people are waiting for this Antichrist. People are waiting for this Dajjal. It's already here. It's already here. That description that the Prophet Muhammad gave you of the Dajjal, it's already here. You got to think about it. So he would be blind in his right eye, right? His left eye would be bright and shining, sparkling. He would be well built. He would be he would have kufr written on his forehead so that even a blind man could see it, right? Then they said he would have the power to jump up and down in between the heavens and the earth, right? They said the ocean would be ankle deep for him. All right, let's start looking at this. Your right side is seen as your spiritual side. So he would be blind of spirituality. But his secular or his worldly eye would be, bright and, because he would be heavily into materialism. Okay? Kufr, written on his forehead. Hey, what does kufr mean? Disbeliever. A blind man could tell that this man is a disbeliever. Okay? The thing is, they said that he would be able to jump up and down in between the heavens and the earth. That's your space shuttle. Spaceship's going up and down. The action of jumping up and down in between the heavens and the earth. Because what does the shuttle do? It goes up, stays out of it, and it comes down. So it's the action of jumping up and down between the heavens and the earth. The Prophet Muhammad was describing this civilization. Okay? He was describing this time that we lived in. They said that he would have a donkey whose ears were 70 feet long. Okay? That's your airplanes. Okay? The ocean would be ankle deep. That's your subs and all that stuff that can go down deep into the ocean. So the Prophet Muhammad was trying to describe our time to his people. Okay? Now if you waiting for this one-eyed man to come down here with kufr written on his forehead, I mean, come on. It doesn't make any sense. We're Muslims. We're supposed to be thinking. Okay? So, right. You gotta break it down. You gotta think. But see, the thing is that, we're being dumbed down. We're being dumbed down. And it's going to take those of us who are leaders to kind of speak out and teach the people.
We've gotten away from.
Right, that's what we've gotten away from. We're too much into celebrating and partying and doing all that kind of stuff. Where we should be attacking this stuff.
Well, we can see about it, organs that we have here today, and most of the organs that you have every time you come.
Right.
It's because people are tied up in a lot of stuff.
Right.
Distraction.
Distraction.
Exactly.
Distraction, and they have not prioritized their life.
Right.
because they really not really understanding what Allah wants from us.
Exactly. And see, the thing is that, you know, I've accepted my own mortality. I know I'm
We
leaving
all
here,
have.
you know.
Yeah,
So I want to leave here in a way that's pleasing to my Lord,
that's right.
you know.
Mhm.
And, you know, anything other than that is unacceptable, you know.
It is, but for instance, I use one thing as an example. 3 years ago, well, two years ago to be specific, when I downsized and moved, TV was not doing nothing for me. I sold it,
Mm.
and I have not purchased another one.
Wow.
And our families, our children, you know, when they love you, they want you to have what the world has. So they thinking, Mom, you need a TV.
Mhm. Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it's so serious.
Mhm.
So I said, I don't need a TV. You know, why do I need a TV? There's nothing on there but a bunch of garbage. You know, but then talking to other Muslims and telling them that same story, they're like, girl,
You better get your TV.
Mhm. Yeah.
you ain't looking at Empire. Now these are Muslims talking to me.
Mhm.
You ain't looking.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, well, something wrong with you.
Mhm.
I said, okay, but I really know who's really something wrong with. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's funny because I see, you know, a lot of people converting to Islam, but Islam is not there. They just dressed up.
Yeah.
It's like Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay, they just dressed up as Muslims because there's nothing in their conduct and behavior.
There you go. And the character,
Exactly.
just the what happened to just give the salam.
Right.
Well, you can count.
I mean, just start there with the basics.
Yeah.
And so many of our young babies, no manners at all.
Right.
You know, and you have adults that will into a room and won't open their mouth.
Well, you gotta. It goes back to the program
Yeah.
because now, yeah, because even the Disney Channel teaches children to be very disrespectful
Yeah.
towards adults.
Yeah.
But we hear the word Disney and we oh, that's kid friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Go on the Disney Channel. Okay. So, you know, these people, they got us.
Oh,
They got us.
Well,
Until we wake up and fight back.
it's adults also because
Yeah.
you've been coming to the masjid. I can count how many conversations I have talking about Islam when I talk to people.
Right.
They
Exactly.
don't even want to talk about Islam.
Right.
They're talking about other stuff.
Right. Because they want to come together and just be social.
Yes.
You know. The thing is that, you know, I mean, I don't, you know, I very rarely really joined a masjid or go to a specific masjid because it's like, you know, I'll give you an example. I'm driving down the street one day and a brother saw me. I gave him salams. He said, oh yeah, what's like? Come in. I said, okay, I'll be right there. So I parked, you know, went into the masjid. We made salat. You know, I'm sitting there and he says to me, brother, where's your beard? Like, where's my beard? You know, like, he's like, yeah, well, you know, you're supposed to have a beard. I said, where do you see that in the Quran? How is a beard going to make me Muslim? It's my actions, it's my conduct that makes me Muslim. You know? There's brothers that can't even grow a beard. So what happens in that case? You see what I'm saying? So we have to stop allowing people to dictate to us what Islam is. Okay? Because when you're dealing with something other than the Quran, come on. Okay? So, you know, it's very, very important, like I said, for us to understand what Islam is for ourselves and stop letting people dictate to us what it is. And I can prove to you what I'm saying because I've done the research. You know, I can show you how, you know, our perception has been controlled. Okay?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What is going to happen with those parents that do have children, we have grandchildren, now with the bill being signed for the transgender bathrooms in the schools?
Well,
So, I mean,
well, your buddy, he.
You know what I mean? This guy.
But this is what I'm saying.
Black people
It's
favorite
funny. It's so funny
Mm-hmm.
because
Never liked him.
well,
He flip flop all the
well,
time.
to me, I saw it right through him.
Me too.
It's phony, phony.
but it's all about the dollar, like we said. I mean, the whole system is just corrupt.
Yeah.
The whole system is corrupt.
They all
But I'm
up and
saying,
down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
he wasn't gonna really do
the
nothing.
What
question
could he
goes
do?
back
That's what I'm
to,
saying.
the question goes back to the
Came
parents.
a little bit swag.
To
Fight.
what are you gonna do as a parent?
What are you
about
doing, Brother
sending
Rashid?
See,
sending
well,
your child to school, and they gotta go into a place.
well, they know there's not going to be a fight, especially from
I know, that's the
the
problem.
low income parents.
Mm-hmm.
They know it's not going to be a fight.
Yes.
We haven't even discussed it. We haven't even discussed it. So the thing is that, I remember before the election when Farrakhan was saying that Obama was the Messiah. I was like, huh? And now he ain't as good as he can't stand him. But the thing, go ahead, bro.
I think that what we need to recognize is that this society, this democracy, it means that even though, like in here, it means that by my vote count as one vote. Now, if the majority of the people, if I'm the leader in here and the majority of the people in here comes up with an idea that's contrary to my idea, I still got to express that majority vote thing. That's what Obama's caught up in. And that's why the presidency is not good for a good man. Because that good man, he can't ride above that vote. You see what I mean? A democracy. And that's what it is. We live in a democracy. So in other words, if I say nay and the majority here say yay, I'm the leader. I got to go with the majority. So that's what got Obama caught up.
See,
You
no,
know?
with Obama, and I'm gonna be honest.
Of what we think it is,
Right.
what it's looking at.
Right. See, Obama, you got to do your research. See, we have been waiting for a black president for so long,
Yeah.
and then when we finally got one, it was like, wow, like we really made it. Our ancestors really waiting for, waiting for this, and that's what they used. They played the game. There was a newspaper article, a news magazine article in New York when Obama was running. And they said that Obama would be the first Jewish president. Not the first black president, he would be the first Jewish president. Because he would be following everything that they dictated for him to do. Okay? If you do research and you find out who were some of the people that he looked up to, that they were like mentors to him, one of the guys was a guy named Saul Alinsky. Anybody know who Saul Alinsky is? All right, Saul Alinsky wrote a book called Rules for Radicals. Right? Now, Obama and Hillary were big fans of this guy. And in his book, Rules for Radicals, he had a dedication page. And his dedication page was to the first rebel, Satan. Okay? So the thing is that we have to, we gotta watch the politics that's being played. Because that's all it is. They're playing games with us. But I got a lot of research on Obama and the things that he's done. I mean, I wanted to believe that he was who he pretended to be, but he's not. I mean, honestly, he's not. You look at what he's done, his policies. A lot of us, we don't even know what his policies are. We just voted for him because he was black.
Yeah.
You gotta be honest.
That's true.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Times.
When you ask what the
I mean, right.
NDAA is,
Yeah. Just let me interject.
yeah, sure.
We looking for, it seems as if perhaps we looking for a savior, when Islam is that savior, and there's no other savior for us, and until we take the bull by the horn, you see what I mean? And when I say that, I mean as men, as minds that understand, until we understand that we are at war with Shaitan, and it's what we can do as an individual. The Quran says, "O ye who believe." It doesn't say, "Oh, this person or that person." "O ye who believe." So until we as believers, and some of us are rising to this occasion, in that we have to begin to distinguish ourselves according to our knowledge basis. And Obama is just another person, and just like any other person that goes in that White House. They change every 4 years. They change every year. No savior is going to save us from nowhere like that. It's going to be from individuals that understand La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, and come from that perspective. That's going to be our saving force, not from no other source.
And I totally agree with you. My whole thing is, we're sitting here waiting for Isa to come back. We're sitting here waiting for Mahdi, all this stuff. But the thing is, the Savior lives within you. Because all Allah asks for you is for righteous conduct. So they plagued us with this Savior thing. I've never looked at Obama as a Savior. I don't look at nobody as a Savior.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I agree totally with what you're saying. But the thing is that I still question his character and who he is. Just because it's just like what Jesus says in the Bible. Because his disciples asked him, well, because he told them that many false prophets would come. He said, well, how will we know, if they're a false prophet or not? What did he say? He said, by the fruit that they bear.
Right.
So looking at their actions, they can say all they want to say, but look at their actions. And his actions do not dictate that he's a man of God.
Right.
The bombings on innocent children,
Right.
with the drone attacks, the drone strikes, the NDAA, and all of that stuff that he said that he would do when before he got into office. And then when he got into office, he changed his mind. He said he was going to get rid of the Patriot Act. He made it stronger. Okay? So the thing is that we have to be able to analyze, because there's certain things that, I hear people say, oh yeah, well you can't judge. You can't judge some things. What we can't judge is whether or not somebody is going to paradise or hell.
Yeah.
That's what, that's between them and Allah. But we can judge actions. Because Allah tells us to stay away from people that's, not doing the right actions. So, that's, it's interesting. But we really have to begin to think, and pay attention to what's going on.
And live the Quran.
And live the Quran. That's it.
And live the Quran, because even on Mondays, off the subject, but on the subject, we have Meatless Monday here. And we're looking at documentation of a young man. I feel for his life, because he's a young Caucasian. He's a journalist. I'll get his name for you. He's a journalist, and he's telling us we're looking at the lives on cancer, and how the pharmaceutical drugs industry is plaguing our community, falsely making diagnoses on us, telling people they have cancer that don't have cancer, and those that do have cancer, you have no way out but through chemotherapy and radiation. But we know, the book we read, Allah told us what's going to heal us. And there was none of that. So they take part from the plant, and then add the chemicals to everything. Now they genetically modifying our food. We already looked at the water. So it's just, and I'm saying, well, y'all might as well just go to all these prisons and let all of the drug dealers that you got locked up, let them free.
They're the real drug dealers, pharmaceutical companies.
That's really actually manufacturing the drugs, because they said the small drug dealer was a manufacturer. We know they can manufacture anything.
Right, they're the biggest, you don't even see them.
What's going on?
See, the thing is, and it's funny, because Allah tells us that He's created us in different hues.
Yeah.
And, at a time, a lot of us believe you know, white man was the devil and all of this old stuff. But it's not that.
No,
It's about righteousness. It's about
Yes,
righteous
that's
conduct.
that's right.
And, you know, their you know, their ancestry, where they came from, you know, it made them be, I'll put it this way. Their ancestors came from a cold climate where food didn't grow abundantly. They had to seek shelter in caves, okay? But with us, you know, well, they felt that God or nature was their enemy, right? But with us, you know, our ancestors were in a climate that was warm, you know, food grew abundantly. They didn't have to seek shelter in caves and that kind of stuff. So they felt a closeness to nature, or closeness to God. So it's easier for Shaitan to manipulate them because of that, you know. They felt as though, you know, nature was their enemy, God was their enemy, you know. So that's why you see them doing so many things that's just so out of line, you know. You know, there's a verse in the Quran where Allah talks about, I think it's in Surah Nisa, but he talks about Shaitan would get them to tamper with the creation. So all the things that you described, like the GMOs and all of that stuff, that's them tampering with Allah's creation. I even showed them a video where they can actually cause it to rain. Okay? So, you know, there's a lot that's going on. Let me see. We're at 7:35.
We gotta go.
Yeah, the time was.
Yeah, that was it.
Well, yeah, we got a late start, but if I can get, let me just get 5 quick minutes, because I want to show you
And I want to ask some questions.
this. Okay, I want to show you this. Dang, I didn't get through half of the stuff I had for y'all. That's crazy. Wow, I was up all night too. All right, let me see. I want you to see this though, because this is very interesting, because it shows you where this thing is going.
Welcome back to Hannity. It is a shocking story out of Texas where the city of Houston has issued subpoenas demanding that a group of pastors turn over their sermons as part of a battle to enforce an equal rights ordinance in the city. Now, ministers who failed to comply with the subpoena could be held in contempt of court. And we reached out to the Houston's mayor's office. We received the following statement saying in part, quote, well, the mayor agrees with those who are concerned about the city legal department subpoenas for pastor sermons. The statement continues, quote, neither the mayor nor city attorney David Feldman were aware the subpoenas had been issued until yesterday. Both agree the original documents were overly broad. Now, the city will move to narrow the scope during an upcoming court hearing. Here to detail their fight for the First Amendment is the Grace Church co-founder, Pastor Steve Riggle, and from the Alliance Defending Freedom, Eric Stanley is with us. Pastor, we'll start with you. Did you get one of the letters? Subpoenas?
I did. Yes, I did.
What did it say?
Well, it wanted my sermons and emails and texts and anything that had been said about the Equal Rights Ordinance or homosexuality, or including Mayor Parker, if I'd ever said anything about her.
All right,
communication with the congregation, wanted any of that.
What I have read is that, I guess this is the first openly gay mayor of the city, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and that they passed an ordinance where men can use the ladies' rooms and ladies can use the men's rooms, correct?
Well, they passed an ordinance that has to do with public accommodations, gender identity, and gender expression, which basically mean that however you express yourself, doesn't matter biologically what you are, that's what you are on that day.
So in other words, and that would mean, as I'm interpreting it here, that men could use the women's rooms and women can use the men's rooms, etc. And I understand that there was a referendum movement where you needed 17,000 signatures, you got over 50,000, but yet they still rejected it. Is that true?
We had a company conduct a poll in the city. 82% said they were not for this ordinance. We gave it to the council, to the mayor. They passed it anyway, and so we enact.
So you see, it's an illusion. Okay, even with the voting, it's an illusion because the popular vote doesn't win. It's the electoral college, right?
referendum, a petition drive. We gathered 55,000 signatures. We needed 17,200. Of those 55,000, the city secretary stopped counting a little over 19,000 because we had passed the threshold of acceptable signatures, and then the city attorney threw out more than 30,000 of the signatures.
Okay, and Eric, you're with the Alliance for Defending Freedom. Your group is active in this. It would seem that this ordinance comes in direct conflict with a little amendment. It's called the First Amendment: freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom for redress of grievances. That's all in the First Amendment. Am I correct, sir?
Oh, you're exactly right, Sean. I mean, this is an unprecedented attack on the First Amendment rights of pastors. The city of Houston has subpoenaed these 5 pastors. They're asking for 17 different categories of information, including text messages between their congregation members and the pastor, and including the pastor's sermons on issues like homosexuality, gender identity, or the mayor. And these have no relevance to whether there is enough signatures on the ballot to put this issue on the ballot.
All right, so I think you kind of got the gist of that, but I have to let you. I want you to hear, because I know I told y'all a story. Hold on, I want to show y'all one more thing. This, I listen to everybody, all right? Because I can find truth from all different sources. But I want you to hear a Satanist, all right? I want you to hear what he says about pop culture.
We are in control because basically we are not a political organization, we are an occult organization. We're working behind the scenes to manipulate the way that people think. The war that we are waging is a guerrilla war on the human mind. And we use musical frequencies, the dominant frequency, which I've referred to before, and symbolism and imagery to awaken dormant aspects of the human mind. And symbolism and imagery to awaken dormant aspects of the human mind. What we're waging is a cultural war right now on every front, in music, in literature, utilizing the media against itself. We're using music because that's the instrument that young people respond to right now. We're doing propaganda directly to awaken the wolf in man. We are in control, and symbolism and imagery to awaken dormant aspects of the human mind. Politics is merely the puppet show of human beings, and we transcend that, but we are interested in the control of human beings for our own purposes. We are in control, and the wolf represents the beast in man. That's what we seek to unleash in humanity because it's been repressed and tamed. And that above all is what we seek to eradicate. The wolf should be unleashed, destroying everything that Judeo-Christianity has succored and kept alive. We have no concern for the homeless, particularly.